Hey, what's up, all you teachers and coaches? Jeremy Schultz here from Beats from the Core, and today I want to talk about a question that I get from a lot of other teachers and coaches out there about being frustrated because their students don't practice. What to do, how to get your students to practice, and all of this stuff. Let's talk about this for a second. Okay, so I constantly get asked about what I do to get my students to practice. A lot of teachers contact me when right before they're about to go through my teacher training program, and they say that one of the things that they feel the biggest frustration about, is their students coming in and not practicing week after week. I think a lot of teachers make this mistake. They end up teaching all 30 or 40 of their students per week. They teach them as if they're all gonna have the same intent, right? So in other words, everybody that is gonna come in there is wants to be a professional drummer, and is super into it and stuff. So in my program, I talk about how important it is to make the distinction between a 99 percenter and a 1 percenter. So 1 percenters are cats like us, where we practice every day. Nobody has to tell us to practice. That's all we do. As a matter of fact, when it comes when you become an adult, oftentimes you have to figure out how to be able to live life, right? And how do you not practice 6 hours a day and actually pay bills and do laundry and function like an adult, right? Okay, so this is about a 1 or 2% of all of your students that will come in. They those kids that are just into it. So now I'm not saying be lackadaisical and just let it slide, but ultimately is what it is you as the teacher, you have to bring more value, and usually in a different you got to think of it in a different approach. Okay, a 99 percenter, okay, or a 98 percenter is somebody who maybe a kid, or if it's a kid, maybe they are coming in and they're taking lessons because their parents make them take lessons, and they have to be there every Thursday and stuff. So it's your job as a good teacher to be able to provide more than just a drum lesson, like fucking paradiddles or what. Why are they doing this, right? So you establish connection and discovery within the lesson. You let them tap into the joys of what us 1 percenters already instinctually know. Okay, so forget about them having to execute their technique perfectly and all of this stuff. That comes on the back end of passion. Okay, when they really want to just hunker down and really get their craft to a different level. So instead of getting frustrated that they're not practicing, use your half hour or your 1 hour a week that you have with your students to invoke a question, to invoke a feeling, to invoke something extra beyond the notes that you're teaching them. And then if they can leave if they can leave the lesson room intrigued with a question, I guarantee they're gonna have even just a little bit of practice, and make the question or whatever they have, make that kind of don't make it like a concrete thing. Or a lot of times, somebody could start out as a 98 percenter. They don't even know that they like drums or whatever, right? And a lot of times they could start out being a 98 percenter, but if you give them this enough of this connection and discovery process, it triggers something in it. Because I believe that we're all creative. We're creative beings. That's how we walk around in this world, okay? And we all have rhythm in us. So for you drummer guys out there, use that time to invoke that, and know that it's not about them practicing and coming in and and being a virtuoso, so that way you could brag, be like, oh hey, look at my virtuoso students that I have. That's all about you. The thing is about them, and you providing them with such a good experience inside of the rehearsal room, that they're not I'm sorry, inside of the teaching room, that they are gonna have no choice than to be intrigued and think about it all week. So guaranteed that that'll happen. And this goes for the same with adults. So like when I was teaching a lot of the Amazon exec dudes, right? They didn't really know why they were there. They were just checking something out, and a lot of them just it's kind of funny, like a joke. These guys are late 40s, early 50s, and so during lessons, I would give them just bits of like connection and discovery, and I would just hand it over to them and just let them just kind of tinker with it and stuff, and then that would invoke questions, and the next thing you know, they would start practicing, and the next thing you know, I'm going to watching their freaking bands play all over Seattle. So that's a way to approach it, and then you won't be frustrated anymore. So if you like this, go ahead, give me a subscribe, leave some comments and questions down there. Follow me on Instagram, Beats from the Core. I create game-changing music teachers, one beat at a time. So get at me later.